I admit, there may have been a leap in logic, but consider this. Jordine's goal has always been the downfall of Calpheon. What if, after all the power players are gone, only Jordine's allies are left standing? We can source countless records from the past about what happens when all power is consolidated into the hands of one man. The defendant, fully aware that the black stones from the extraction mill were falling into the hands of the Shadow Knights, chose to turn a blind eye. It's evident that she exploited this situation to forge a link between Jordine and the Shadow Knights. We have the ledger of Sir Edmund Dawson, the extraction mill manager. There's no way little Miss Meticulous Isabel didn't know about this. An unidentified sword? Why would Edmund do something so stupid?
I will admit the evidence from both sides. Let's see. Both records match Sir Edmund's handwriting. What the defense is questioning among these records is the sword without any workshop production records. Correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. The sword is known as the Ashen Usurper, a symbol of the Shadow Knights. So, according to the ledger, the first one to make initial contact with the Shadow Knights was none other than Sir Edmund Dawson, not House Encarosha.
What? What does she mean? Sir Edmund was the first to contact those heretics? What's going on?
Wait. The Black Crystals in Serendia are controlled by the Light Merchant Guild. Could they have been orchestrating things behind the scenes?
Order! The plaintiff must substantiate the defendant's assertion.
It's just some old sword without any origins. Where is the evidence that it's the Ashen Usurper? House Light oversees the extraction mill, but the operation of produced goods is managed by the Jean Merchant Guild. At that time, Isabel Incarosha was in charge of Serendia. So who would Sir Edmund be reporting to at the time? Her. It would have been Isabel Incarosha. Your Honor, please examine the essence of the situation first. Yes. I was the one who hired Sir Edmund Dawson. However, it was an open recruitment, and the process was transparent. I don't think that proves he was taking orders from our house. I can disclose the hiring documentation from that time, if needed. Yes, the weight, material, and length of the sword are all documented. Is it your belief then that only one sword in the world fits that description? Show me the record, and I bet I could have an identical sword crafted by sunup tomorrow. It's just some old sword without any origins. Where is the evidence that it's the Ashen Usurper? House Light oversees the extraction mill, but the operation of produced goods is managed by the Jean Merchant Guild. At that time, Isabel Incarosha was in charge of Serendia. So who would Sir Edmund be reporting to at the time? Her. It would have been Isabel Incarosha. Your Honor. Despite being a hero of Balanos, Serendia and Calpheon, you seem unaware of certain procedures. Any administrative procedures at the time were conducted by Isabel Encarosha, as she was in charge of the Serendia branch. Get the picture? Yes. I was the one who hired Sir Edmund Dawson. However, I don't think that proves he was taking orders from our house.
That is correct. The castle entry records accurately reflect this. I can attest to it as head butler, if Lady Jarrett allows.
Huh? Oh, yes, of course, naturally. When was that? Was it the night I had too much to drink and passed out?
What did you say? Your Honor, the defendant is now using her position to spread false information.
Enough! Councillor Light, that sword, it is indeed the Ashen Usurper.
Your Honor, I would like to call as my witness the manager of the Serendian extraction mill, Sir Edmund Dawson.
Sir Edmund Dawson? He's alive? Oh dear, he looks terrible.
What's he doing showing up here all of a sudden? Did he have a change of heart?
Look at Alina Light's face. Red as Calpheon's colors. She's so flustered. Goodness me, this is something to save her.
Order in the court! You may call the witness. Sir Edmund Dawson, is what you have said true?
Yes, Your Honor. The Ashen Usurper, Sword of the Shadow Knights, was delivered by me to the Grand Chamberlain.
You handed over such an item to the enemy of the Republic. You will be held accountable for your actions in due course. For what reason did you deliver such a thing to him? Tell us the reason, so that the people may understand.
At that time, I was under severe pressure regarding the quota assigned to me by Councillor Alina Light. In the midst of this, a woman came to see me. She seemed to know all about my troubles. She introduced herself as Elezra, and she promptly put forth a proposition. She said that if I gave the sword, the Ashen Usurper, to Jordine, she would give me the black stones that I needed to meet the quota. Looking back now, it was a ridiculous deal. But at that time, I was in a tight spot, and thus, not in my right mind. Yes. So I hastily went to visit Jordine during the night, and presented the sword to him as a gift. The Grand Chamberlain later used that gift to make an attempt on my life. As he plunged the blade into me, he whispered, "As the Dark Ones demanded."
The suspicion of collusion between Jordine and Isabel has been cleared. Bailiff, detain Sir Edmund Dawson. The remainder of the trial will now resume. Back to the initial claim. Why did the defendant sponsor...
Why did the defendant sponsor the Baron of Montfordel? Exactly why? You intended to overthrow Calpheon.
For Calpheon, to prevent his sword and his army from being pointed at Calpheon. While the Baron maintained military tension within Serendia, Jordine could not advance into Calpheon, not with an enemy behind him.
Do you expect the people of Calpheon to believe such innocent intentions? We are talking about House Encarosha. Are we to believe that a house, notorious throughout Calpheon for their greed, made a donation in the name of justice?
Never fear, Rookie. I've kept a small trick up my sleeve for just such an occasion. Here's the property deed for the Golden Toad Inn, and the investment contract for the Montfordel land. Go ahead, present these as evidence. It's time to turn the tides of the trial. This is the property deed for the Golden Toad Inn. It was being operated by the Heidel League of Merchants. Having obtained this, all the businesses of the Heidel League of Merchants fell under the ownership of the Jean Merchant Guild. And the same goes for the funds allocated to Monvidel. They weren't just for military support. Donations for justice? I don't think so. It was a careful investment by the Heidel branch of the Jean Merchant Guild. An investment befitting House Encarosha, prioritizing profit above all else. Isn't that right, Baron of Monvidel?
Of course. 30% of the Monvidel land shares were transferred to the Heidel branch of the Jean Merchant Guild.
Considering this, the ledger submitted by House Light was counterfeit evidence concocted to support her narrative. Great citizens of Calpheon, I, Isabel, see money as a mere tool, not the final goal. Little by little, I aim to wield these tools to further the prosperity of Calpheon.
You already had a card up your sleeve. I have nothing left to teach you, Isabel. You truly have what it takes to become the head of House Encarosha. I am so proud of you.
Thank you, Father. Counselor Elena Light, you cannot defeat me. Do you see that now?
Isabel! You knew it all along! How dare you! How dare you mock me!
So much for her confidence.
It seems even the prestigious House Light is not immune to misfortune.
Order in the court! If there are no further claims or additional evidence, I shall hear their closing arguments and deliver judgment. Isabel Encarosha, have you prepared your final argument?
Respected Chief Counselor, Council members, and esteemed citizens of our great Calpheon. A family obsessed with expanding their enterprise and caring only for coin. An arrogant family of peddlers audaciously aiming to engulf the prestigious House Urn and masquerade as nobility. We of House Encarosha are well aware of such public sentiments. We won't deny it. After all, it's the truth. However, as members of the sacred Callus Parliament, our house has never committed a shameful act against the Republic. I implore you, do not misconstrue my efforts, my tireless endeavors to crush Jordine's ambition. Do not misinterpret my desire to protect the Republic of Calpheon and its citizens. With tears and hope, I ask you to show that justice still lives on in the Republic. That is all.
All the evidence presented by the hero of Calpheon unequivocally reveals the truth of this case. For the hearing of case number 286-192, suspected collusion with Jordine Ducasse. I find the defendant not guilty.
This is all thanks to you, adventurer.
With this, the hearing for case number 286-192 is closed. Hero of Calpheon, you've done it again. May I count on your support in the upcoming election?
Nothing like a breath of fresh air after being cooped up for so long. And seeing Alina's scowling face, that was the cherry on top. What did I do? You're the real hero here. You know, I've even started to believe in fate. Remember when I hounded Bobby Lauren for his debt? Would our paths have crossed if I hadn't? I think they would have. We were bound to meet and make a difference together, one way or another. Rest up for today, Rookie. Povius will take special care of you.
Adventurer, on behalf of House Encarosha, I want to express my gratitude to you once again. Indeed, you always stay true to yourself. I suppose you're about to set off on another adventure? Speaking of which, there's a matter I've been investigating personally. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Do you recall when Lady Isabel collapsed at the wheat plantation? Her condition at the time was indeed due to black stone poisoning. There was no doubt about it. Professor Gorgath suggested it might be due to prolonged exposure to black stones. But from what I recall, she came into direct contact with the black stone only once. That's right. Back in the day, it took miners a good while to get poisoned from the black stones. For her to get poisoned in such a short time, could it be that she had been secretly engrossed in alchemy? Or she had no choice but to directly absorb the black stone into her body, meaning she might have ingested it. But when could this have happened? Any ideas? I have one particular moment in mind. You've reached the same conclusion, then. That's the only time that seems plausible. House Light has a long history with the Black Stones, after all. Hard to picture that sweet old lady who lends her aid to the less fortunate turning to poison, eh? My friend, it seems you still have much to learn about the world. Everyone goes through this life wearing a mask. You only get a glimpse of their true faces when you gaze into the very depths of their being. Leave this matter to me. Now you should take a well-deserved rest.
If you see value, do not hesitate. seem to have a lot of interest in it.
I saw it with my own eyes. You must be so really. It's truly an honor to meet you.
We've been awaiting your return.
My Isabel knew a hero when she saw one. Ah, here's our hero now. You've arrived. Welcome, welcome. This is all for you. Citizens of Calpheon, a great hero has graced us with their presence.
Stay in Calpheon for many years to come.
Now that our hero has joined us, let us all raise a toast to the future of Calpheon. Isabel, come.
Yes, Father.
It is your turn to greet the citizens.
Ah. Adventurer, there you are. You look well rested. I suppose I can make the toast on your behalf, right? Ladies and gentlemen, let's toast to the bright future of our Republic of Calpheon, and to the adventures that lie ahead for our great hero. To the future!
To the future!